And the scripture says, "So wash your hands, make yourselves clean, get your evil actions out of my sight, stop doing what is wrong." Isaiah 1, verse 16.
So bring out the song in me, crescendos past tragedies, and while
Grace and peace, refreshing life family. I'm talking kind of low because I just got the kids down, and that baby has supersonic hearing. I walk in a room, he could be dead asleep, and his little head pop up. So I'm talking kind of low because I want to get through this without waking up the whole household. How you guys doing? I know it has been a rough couple of weeks. People are sheltering in place. People are under quarantine. People are under self-quarantine like we are. Um, it's been rough. It has been really rough. And I was already going into a season that was difficult when this hit. Just kind of like an update. Well, first, let me introduce myself if this is the first time you're visiting my channel. I'm Dr. Naima Johnston-Bush from The Refreshing Life with Naima, and our goal is to help you live a life of powerful prayer, exuberant joy, and extreme gratitude. And it has been hard to do all three things lately. I mean, to the point where I haven't been active much at all online. And I had to make a choice, last couple of days. Was I going to let this get to me to the point where I couldn't function? Because I've been in those kind of places before, or was I going to suck it up because I know that my Redeemer lives? And I decided to go with the fact that my Redeemer lives. But I was going into a hard place already. My grandmother had been ill. Bianca, many of you know Bianca, my Chihuahua, the original road dog. That dog has been more places in this country and a more church event than a little bit. She is about to be 17, and the vet has not given her much longer to live. She has massive tumors all up her front, and Jesus could still do a miracle, but he had given me a word a couple of years ago that about when her time was going to come. I guess he was preparing me. And so, between my grandmother being sick and Bianca coming to the end of her life, she's still with us at this time of this taping. But Bianca being at the end of life, and this ongoing thing with these kids, whereas we don't know, the future, what's going to happen with them, whether they're going to stay or they're going to go. It's very stressful, particularly when you get a 2-year-old and a baby, a 2-month-old, and now you see him and he's like, he's 16 months now. So we've had him from the time he was 2 months old, and we're mama and papa, and we're just his whole world, and we love them both so much, and the thought of losing them is a dagger in the heart. So that was going on, and then on top of all of that, I hadn't been feeling very well, and I had to make some adjustments because I hadn't been feeling very well, and I knew where that was going. Some of you know I was diagnosed with liver disease, and so that was going on, and it was just a lot, and then this hit, and so it's been a difficult season, and my grandmother wound up passing away a couple of days ago. It hasn't even been a week yet. I don't think it's all start. When you stay in the house, it all starts to kind of run together. My cousin has COVID. My grandmother did pass. Bianca's getting weaker as the days go by. The kids are at that age where they are not so much our little girl. She's leveling out. She's 3.5, so she's leveling out where she can sit and watch an episode of Paw Patrol and just be calm. But now we've got this 16-month-old boy, and he is a boy running around this house. and he's always climbing something and falling off of something and jumping off of something. I didn't think babies were like that. I mean, I guess he's not a baby, he's a toddler now, and he's talking nonstop. I don't know half of what he's saying, but he's babbling nonstop, and he's just going and going and going and going and going. And then he passes out, maybe, and then he passes out for 15 minutes, and then he's back up, and he's going and going and going and going and going. And I say to the Lord, I know you got a plan, but I'm not exactly sure why you waited till I was this old to bring me such little ones, but I love them dearly. So there's just a lot going on, some other things that I won't go into because this is not the time or the place for that. But just a ridiculously hard time. And, with everything that's going on, they've been talking a lot about wash your hands, if you don't want to get COVID, wash your hands, sanitize your hands. But if washing your hands is much better. Wash your hands. Basic hygiene. Thing your mother always told you when you came out of the bathroom. You came in from outside. Wash your hands. My mother always said, don't wear your shoes in the house. Those kinds of things. And I remembered, I was watching the world news the other day, trying not to get overwhelmed and depressed. It's gotten to the point where now I can only watch it like every couple of days. I can't watch it every day. So like today I didn't watch it because I watched it yesterday. And those of you who also don't know, I'm from New York City. And so that's difficult. That's where my entire family is. And my mom is up there. My dad is up there. So yeah, there's just a lot going on. But anyhow, I remembered that I had written this devotional, this blog about soap, washing your hands and soap. And it's called, I called it at the time, Irish Spring Brings Peace. Because when I lived in Dayton, my favorite soap of all time was Irish Spring. Now my favorite soap is like that big fat artisan soap that you can get like from Marshall's or Home Goods, and it has all, the real big fat French milk soap. I love that stuff. I love the way it smells. But I have this really strange obsession about soap, and I'm not exactly sure where I got it from. I mean, I can stand at the sink and wash my hands and wash my hands and wash my hands for no good reason, just because I like the feel of soap. And so I thought I would share, now that you know my secret strange obsession, I thought I would share this blog with you, read it to you, and maybe it'll encourage someone. It's called Irish Spring Brings Peace. Every now and then, I like to confess something a little strange about myself. I'm an avid war movie buff, with Hacksaw Ridge, Miracle at St. Anna's, and When We Were Soldiers being my top 3 favorite war movies. I'm an introvert by nature. A lot of people don't know that, but I am. I like to be alone, and although I love to sing, I don't really like being in front of people. And rum raisin and pistachio are my favorite ice cream flavors. But one of the strangest things about me is that I have a peculiar fascination with soap. And I do mean peculiar. I love the way a good bar of soap feels in my hands. I can tell you which brands have the best lather, which retain their scent the longest, and which ones get you the cleanest. I can even tell you when brands change their formula, resulting in an inferior or a superior soap quality. My husband's love language is giving gifts, and he gives good gifts. And one of the most wonderful gifts that I got last Christmas and the Christmas before last, the gift I actually treasured the most, and he bought me an expensive purse, he bought me all kinds of great stuff, but the gift that I treasured the most was a basket of soaps that he had curated from different shops and vendors. I thought it was the best gift ever. And I spent a good portion of Christmas Day with my nose in that basket, inhaling deeply, opening every soap, testing it, washing my hands, and placing them in baggies after I opened them so they would retain their fragrance. Now, My struggles with food addiction has never been a secret, and I walk this thing out on a daily basis. I was never the one who was automatically healed and delivered. I'm one of the ones who have to make a choice every day to walk in deliverance. And I find in times of great strain, it's easy to reach for a cookie when I should be laying before the Lord. The euphoria of the moment of chewing, for some strange reason, brings a sense of false calm and deceptive peace because there's always a price to pay. These last few months have been difficult, and I found myself falling quite a bit. But then something interesting happened. I was in this melancholic artist mood, and I was distraught about something or other. I can't remember what it was, so it must not have been that important. And I opened the refrigerator to see what was inside. But then I thought, well, I actually believe the Lord whispered to me, you need to wash your hands before you eat anything because you have been cleaning. So I found myself at the sink, lathering up my hands with some $5 soap that I had bought from the local department store, and it was a good quality soap. It was called Coastal Waters. I think I got it from Stage. Some of you may know Stage. And the more I rubbed it together, the thicker the lather became, and the calmer I felt. I stood there for a good 10 minutes singing and washing my hands over and over again. Lather was everywhere. I mean, it was all over the sink. It was down my shirt. My hands got soft and they got wrinkled from the water. But it felt so good and I felt so much better. And let's face it, washing my hands is a much healthier habit than eating a bunch of junk food with my health challenges. I thought to myself, what if every time I feel like the world is ending, I came to the sink and washed my hands? What if the sink became my altar, my holy place? And a memory floated up from the past at that moment when I was in my early 30s and I was working with the youth group and I was living in Ohio. I would carry in my purse a box of Irish Spring, and there are people who can attest to this truth. I would actually carry in my purse a box of Irish Spring soap. And whenever I needed a moment, needed to focus, needed peace, needed clarity, I would take the soap out and I would sniff it. And everyone would laugh at me. But I was able to accomplish so much more because of a love of soap that the Lord put in me. Yes, the Lord used Irish Spring to give me peace. So now, today, starting right here, right now, when I need a moment of peace, I'll run to the sink and wash my hands and sing and talk to Jesus. It leaves me with a peace I can't express. Maybe you need a touchstone. Maybe you need a holy place that you can run to when times are hard. It may not be the sink where you're washing your hands for 10 minutes straight, but finding out what it is will help you live a life of joy in the perfection of His will. And so I encourage you today to find your sink, find your Irish Spring, find that place you can go to where you can meet with the Lord and just be at peace, and let Him talk to you and calm you in His perfect love. Sometimes you just need that. So I've been doing a lot of hand washing, which is good for me. And I enjoy it. And I've been washing the kids' hands too, so that's been fun. So that's Irish Spring Brings Peace. I hope it encouraged you today. If it did encourage you, feel free to share it. Leave me a comment below. Give us a like, 2 thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like what we're laying down here. We're all about music, ministry, family, lifestyle. So leave us a comment. We'd appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate that as well. Till next time. Mwah. Love you guys.